and welcome back to another episode of our venture in the visual novel Adventure of a Lifetime. Last episode, we finally got context behind this very picture before us. Look at that. Look at this. Just look at that. You kind of just want to go there and just chillax, right? This turns out to be the secret base of Hiroki and Chisa from their childhood, which is only accessible by small boats. And they have decided to invite, or Hiroki has decided to invite Emily over to experience this particular secret base. And, so Chisa recommended that they take a dip. And that's where we last left off. So let's see if they do go for a dip. Yes, indeed. I believe that's Chinami, that voice in particular. So yeah, let's load up that last scene to see what they do. And for good measure, I think she really wants to go swimming. Yep, she does. Chisa stripped down to her swimsuit. And there she goes. Screaming like a small kid, she took off running and dived into the water. Darn it. She has all the fun. I should have worn my trunks. After Chisa went under, it would be a while before she came back up. Those that didn't know better might start to worry. Anyway, this place is really nice. I'm sure you could relax here, Emily. Of course she isn't. I don't think the ghost ship will ever appear if you don't learn to like the ocean a bit. Just then, Chisa flew into the air from the center of the bay. Below her, a dolphin came leaping up too. Riding Finn, or rather, being made to ride by Finn, Chisa was flung into the air. They both fell back into the water. Emily was holding her chest, shocked at the sight of those two bursting out of the serene waters. Finn dived deep, trying to lead Chisa down, and she couldn't resist. She dove in after. It's not like he knows. He does know. By sound, apparently. You know Chisa's shell necklace? When she dives in, he can hear the sound it makes. Dolphins have very good hearing. No matter how far he is, if he hears that sound, he comes to play. And of course, Chisa keeps that necklace on to let Finn know where she is. I can't take it anymore! I jumped up when I started taking off my t-shirt. Emily hid her face behind her hands. But I was just wearing regular underwear. I took off my shoes and socks, ran down the beach, still in my pants, and jumped into the water. Ah, that feels so good! Emily seemed quite shocked. Emily, you should come in too. The water's nice and cool. It feels great. You're fine. The water's really shallow, so it should only come up to your knees. Your clothes won't get even... What? Your clothes won't even get wet.
あ、来たわね、ひろき。おりゃ！
Ah! All right, you asked for it. While Chisa and I had our water fight, Finn swam around us happily. Emily sat alone on the beach and watched.
何よ、自分たちだけ楽しそうにしちゃって。
You were invited to join them. So why don't you join them? You were invited to join them, so join them.
私だって、このくらいな
Oh
ら。
boy.
ひんやりして気持ちいい。
That's just like he said. Emily took off her shoes and went in barefoot up to her knees. Holding her skirt to keep it dry, she stared at her own legs in wonder. Hey, everything okay?
なんでもない。水が透明だっただけ。海の水は透明に決まってるでしょうが。
No, actually, ocean water this clear is rare. You've just never been off the islands.
何を？田舎者だってバカにしたな。
We started our water fight again. Emily left alone once more, started to get bored. She raised her leg a little and kicked the water. She'd never reach us at that rate. Emily was like a little kid touching water for the first time, timidly splashing around. It was kind of cute. And as I was thinking on these pleasant thoughts... Uh-oh. Chisa sent a huge wave over to Emily. As it hit her right in the face, she froze in shock.
何それ
Oh boy.
ちょっと飲んじゃったじゃない。今のは私じゃないわよ。
Sorry.
何するのよ、ヒロ君まで。
Well, you're all wet now. You might as well. I said as I waved her over.
やよ。
Emily, stubborn as ever, folded her arms and looked away. She was a tough cookie. Several buckets worth of water cascaded down on Emily, leaving her soaked to the bone. As droplets of water ran down her hair and over her face, Emily stared in shock. We all knew the culprit. Finn seemed to smile merrily as he waved his tail fin, taunting her. Now you've gone and done it, Finn. She's gonna get ya! I can't believe he...
やったわねー。待ちなさい。
Emily took off after fleeing Finn. Naturally, Emily had no idea what would happen if she tried to run in the water. She lost her footing in the water and did a perfect belly flop. Sea was shallow here, so there was no real danger. However... Emily, are you okay? I ran to help her when she didn't come up on her own.
だから海なんて嫌いなのよ。私知らない。
Chisa took off after Finn. Emily sat in the knee-deep water and glared at her enemy, the ocean. Just give up and swim.
Huh?
I mean, you're already soaked down to your underwear, right?
パンツ
You probably should not have mentioned that, Hiroki. Emily turned bright red and looked at her lower body. She then looked nervously at the rocky cliffs guarding the entrance of the inlet.
って握っててくれる
I'm sure he will. He's a gentleman. She said with her eyes turned up, looking embarrassed. She must really have been scared of the water.
ヒロ君が手をつないでてくれるなら泳いであげてもいいわ
Oh, sure thing. Try getting used to the water first. If it were me, I would just kind of go along with it and just watch her to just make sure she's okay. Sure thing. As long as you're in the water, I'll never let go. What's the matter?
ずっとなんてお願いしてないわそれじゃまるでプロポーズみたいじゃない
Or could it be that's just how you're interpreting it? It seemed to me like she was reading into the gesture a bit much. Fine. How about I'll hold on until you feel okay? Okay, let's go. I took Emily's hand and led her out into the deeper water. She became hesitant as the water began to rise above her clothes. And in that sailor uniform, it was quite a rare sight to behold. Hiroki, focus! Focus!
立ってられない
If you just hold still, you'd float. Grab onto me. Emily placed a hand on my shoulder. She didn't have to worry about sinking. She didn't have good control of her body either, so she held on to me tightly.
ごめんね
Nah, I should be thanking you. I'm getting hugged by a cute girl after all. You're okay. Behave.
ヒロ君って本当は女たらしなの
I told you. Huh? Why?
なんとなく前もそんなこと言ってたし慣れてる感じがする
If I was, wouldn't I have at least one girlfriend by now?
いないの
Unfortunately, no.
チサは
Chisa? She's just an old friend. Besides, we haven't seen each other for nearly 4 years now. And she said something about a boyfriend. I only vaguely recalled that conversation. Emily eyed me suspiciously.
ヒロ君ってチサにはしないよね女たらしみたいなこと
That's because I'm not some crazy skirt chaser. I was really only trying to be nice. Oh, it drops off here, so be careful. Just beyond the inlet entrance, the seafloor dropped away like a cliff and got much deeper. Relax. There's nothing to be afraid of.
だって足が溺れちゃ
Why don't you take a look below the surface? You'll see the ocean is nothing to be afraid of.
海は怖い場所だもんサメとか意地悪なイルカとかいて
Maybe playful dolphin, I don't know about evil. Dolphins like that are pretty rare. To show her how, I took a deep breath and went under. I looked up and waved at Emily from under the water. Emily gave up and followed suit. Try opening your eyes. She couldn't hear me, but I tapped her shoulder and she got the message. Emily slowly opened her eyes. The first thing she saw was probably air bubbles. The air we breathed out was climbing back to the surface. Then came the sunlight piercing the clear water. A view of the seafloor was spread out beyond the oscillating curtain of light. There were coral reefs and schools of fish. It was beautiful, a scene scattered with organisms colored like gems. Emily gazed ahead in wonder, while I watched her from the side. Her face suddenly turned a shade of blue. I quickly tapped her on the shoulder, then pointed upward. Of course you did. Remember to breathe.
覚えたわ。息継ぎね。息継ぎ。
So, how was it? Looks like you were so caught up you forgot to breathe. It seemed like she was too stubborn to admit the truth. Her face reddened and her lips grew tight as she spoke.
まあ、綺麗なんじゃないかしら。控えめに言っても、すごく。
She seemed to be looking for a word that went beyond just pretty. As Emily laid a hand on my shoulder, she appeared reluctant to say more as she stared at the sparkling surface.
海の中は全然暗くなんてなかった。光が輝いてて、まるで宝石の中を覗いてるみたいだった。
Instead of finding a treasure chest, she began to see the ocean as a treasure in and of itself.
もう一回いい？
As many times as you want. Emily took another deep breath, ready to go back under, when suddenly something huge floated into view. It was Chisa riding Finn.
びっくりさせないでよ。息止めてたから肺が爆発しそうになったじゃない。さっきからなーにイチャイチャしてんのよ。
Oh, shut up, Finn. Huh? I was just lending a hand. You know she can't swim.
相変わらず親切だこと。私にも貸してほしいわね。
Would you even accept if he even offered? I'd like to meet a swimmer good enough to lend you a hand. That would probably only be Finn, an actual dolphin at this point.
おいで、エミリー。島の周りを案内してあげる。無理。私泳げないもん。平気よ。九太郎が乗せてってくれるから。ね。キューキュー。信用できるか。
Emily let go of my shoulder and began dog paddling furiously toward the beach. But she sank almost immediately. And faster than I could reach her. Finn held her up onto the surface.
ありがとう。助けられるのはこれで2度目ね。本当は親切なイルカなのかしら。
Watch him splash her again.
九太郎は海を愛する者の味方なのだ。
I wondered if Finn was starting to warm up to Emily now that she'd warmed up to the sea. But as he wasn't your conventional dolphin, it was best not to let your guard down.
キューキュー。どこ行くの？
Finn began swimming out of the inlet with Emily still on top, clutching his dorsal fin. Chisa!
平気。あの子、ちゃんとわかってるから。
Chisa said before taking off after them. And let's see what's gonna happen in that particular occurrence on the next episode of our venture in the visual novel, Adventure of a Lifetime. Well, everyone, I want to thank you for watching this episode this time around. If you like what you saw, maybe consider leaving a like. And if you'd like to see more, hey, maybe consider subscribing if you haven't already. So until next time, happy mixing, everyone.